The occupational therapist told me about a doctor that specializes in EAV screenings. And EAV screening is a test to talk that analyzes your nutritional imbalances. So the first thing she did was she took a picture of my eyes. She wanted to see how my pupils were, and she zoomed in on them. I looked in the camera. She took a shot at my eyes, a photo, and I noticed that my eyes were a beautiful brown, but they had flowers in the pupils. So she explained to me that that means that I'm it's easy for me to catch on to things, and I'm rather happy most of the time, and I'm very, very intelligent. So I was like, okay, that's about right. Um, then she sprayed some type of liquid chemical on my hands and asked me to hold on to a prong. And then she talked about all the things in the environment that are very harmful for my health. So she talked about chloride, bleach. So those are items like in the pool and bleach and stuff like that. And I actually knew that already because I was analyzed for that when I was in high school, and that limited me from swimming, taking the swimming course. Um, then she told me trees and of course grass, and I knew I had those type of allergies, allergic to cat hair as well. So I kind of knew that. So then we talked about the vegetables. There was only one vegetable that I couldn't tolerate, and that was watercress. What a coincidence! I despise watercress. Um, the next thing we talked about the fruit, and she told me that that citrus fruit, I can't tolerate that in my system. That actually weakens my system. She said lemon is okay for me, but like oranges, I drink orange juice and my throat like itches all day. So I stayed away from that at this point in my life. She also told me grapefruit. I like grapefruit juice, but I guess, I'm gonna have to stay away from it. She told me watermelon. I despise watermelon. So I kind of felt like, okay, this is turning out to be a good thing. We got on a little bit further. She told me eggs are very toxic to you. What a coincidence. Everybody that knows me knows that I'm allergic to eggs. So she went on and told me uh, that beef, chicken, fish, pork, that's okay for me to eat. She said that I should stay away from venison. I was like, okay, I haven't tried any of that anyway. Um, she went on to tell me I need to stay away from flour, sugar, and gluten by all costs. Okay, we're getting on to something. Gluten. I need to live a gluten-free life. Also, she told me to avoid soy. She told me to avoid nuts. And I mentioned to her, she said, what is one of your items that you use like when you're not feeling good? What's your comfort food? What's your comfort snack? I told her M&M's with almonds. She said, "Oh no, you can't tolerate red, yellow, or blue dye in the foods that you eat. They actually inflame you. Gluten inflames you." She said nuts inflame you. They're not good on your digestive system. If you're going to eat nuts, you only can eat 8 at a max. I was like, wow. I love trail mix. So I gathered all of this information from her. She actually told me that I needed to take 5 5,000 milligrams of B12 a day, and also evening primrose. She wanted me to take 1,250 milligrams of that, to include that with me. So I gather all this information and I go back to the occupational therapist and I tell her my findings. Fast forward, after 2 sessions of physical and occupational therapy, I graduate. So they give me a folder with all the exercises in it, and they encourage me to keep it up because at this point, I'm a little bit more stable, don't get dizzy as much, and my balance is kind of correcting itself. Fast forward 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I notice that I haven't worked out at all. I haven't done any of the exercises. So at this point, I ask God, like, please send me some people that will work out with me. How ironic. High and mighty praise to God, okay? Because a deacon came in from a church and he wanted to sign up for the workout room with me. And I'm like, okay, if you come every morning at 8 o'clock, I will work with you because you don't know how to use the machines. I'm going to help you to use the machines properly so that you'll know what you're doing. That fester on to him bringing the pastor of his church there. I'm working them out. I call one of my good friends, Miss Irene. Come on in. We gonna work out at 8 o'clock in the morning. Miss Irene brings her husband, Mr. Bill. The pastor brings his wife. We're all rocking and rolling, working out. Fast forward. I go to the church to hear the pastor's wife preach one Sunday. And then at that point, I tell them that I am living with multiple sclerosis at this point. You know, my great-grandmother used to always say, try the spirit by the spirit. And that's what I was doing. I felt like that was a safe place and that I could actually release the fact that I was living with multiple sclerosis. That was the first place that I ever spoke the fact that this was my lifestyle at this point. And the pastor, who I call my big brother because I love him so dearly, him and his wife, he asked me to come up to the altar and he told me that they're going to pray for me. They prayed for me, y'all. And when they prayed for me, I could feel the anointing of God. I definitely know that eventually I'm going to be healed. So, fast forward. It's time for me to go back to the doctor now. It's December. 6 months has passed. I was diagnosed on April the 30th. I did my first set of treatment on June the 3rd. I go in, it's the week of all my testing. I go in to get my infusion at the infusion suite. There's 6 chairs in the infusion suite. They're like lazy boy chairs. You can let your legs up. And you receive your medicine intravenously. That's what I call the drip, y'all. Because it's going through the IV. You receive it. You get it. And you're there. You're there. This was my first time receiving the Ocrevus treatment, the entire dosage at one time. I received that on Tuesday. Wednesday, I felt good. I went to work. Thursday, I had an eye doctor appointment because my eyes, I've been having trouble with my eyes. Like light has been hurting them. It's still blurry a little bit when I look at things. So I went to the eye doctor. They check my optic nerve. They wanted to make sure that the multiple sclerosis haven't done any damage to my eye nerves. So they dilate my eyes and we do all of this testing. I'm reading the alphabets, you know, each line of the alphabet. And he tells me, your optic nerve is good. You're just getting older. You need glasses to read. That's fine. I get a prescription from him and we're going to figure that part out. Friday, I go to the neurologist. I forgot my disc, but I remember what my notes said, the lab notes from the MRI. And I told her, I was like, the MRI, the note stated that my my lesions, they have reduced. They are smaller. And it also states that I do not have any more lesions since the first round of Ocrevus, since the first MRIs. And she smiled and said, that's great news. That means the medication is working. So I asked her, like, okay, since the medication is working, what can we do about this tingling sensation I still have in my right hand and the numbness that I still have with my feet? We discussed medical marijuana. And I'm going to apply for my medical marijuana card because I want to be totally healed. And I'm learning more and more about the results of people with multiple sclerosis using medical marijuana. One of the guys in my support group, I'm in a cyber support group, you all, and I reach out to them via, the internet. And I really enjoy it. I have a lot of people in this group. They encourage me. They speak a kind word. We uplift each other because I could just honestly tell you that when people see me, they can't tell anything is wrong with me because I look normal. I look like the same old person. But they just don't even understand how I'm living through this pain. Every day I'm crying silent tears because I'm not the same person. But guess what? I'm learning to love that lady who I am now because she's incredible. She is so incredible, I tell you all. Sometimes she can't figure out how to do things. She can understand what's at the beginning and what's at the end. But she's so intelligent, she figures out what's needed in the middle. And I just want to thank you all for listening to my MS story. I'm going to follow up again in 6 months and let you all know exactly how I'm doing. But just do one thing for me. If you are in constant contact with your friends and they're not reaching out to you like they normally do, or they seem strange, or it's something looks like it's off with them, if that's your friend and that's somebody who you love, check on them. I know we all go through something, and life is happening for everybody. But you got to check in on your people because we're here for each other.